Alright, how's it going, everyone? Today I am here to bring you my NXT TakeOver Back to Brooklyn predictions. I'm very excited for this show. If last year's NXT TakeOver Brooklyn special is any indicator of pretty much how awesome this year's show will be, just because of the atmosphere and whatnot, we are definitely guaranteed one hell of a show this SummerSlam weekend. Now, this show, just want to say something real quick. This show has gone through a couple title changes. When it was first announced, it was called NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2, and then it was called NXT TakeOver Back to Brooklyn. I guess the title is NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2, but I just call it Back to Brooklyn because I think that's a better title than just Brooklyn 2. So unless it's referred to as NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 2 come Sunday or Saturday night when it goes live, then I'm just going to refer to it as NXT TakeOver Back to Brooklyn. But like I said, guys, this is my predictions video. Let's get right down to it. We have two debuts taking place this Saturday night at TakeOver Back to Brooklyn. One of them, of course, is the debut of Ember Moon, who used to wrestle on the independent circuit as Athena. I've heard good things about her. She's gonna probably wrestle somebody like a Billie Kay or that one chick from Tough Enough Daria who has the MMA gimmick. But I'm expecting Ember Moon to win her debut. I'm looking forward to seeing what she has to offer because, like I said, I've heard a lot of good things about her, especially from the Lex Man. So I'm looking forward to Ember Moon's debut. The second debut on this card is the glorious debut of Bobby Roode, who will be making his televised in-ring NXT debut against Andrade, Cien, Almas. Almas is a good wrestler, but he hasn't really blown me away. He hasn't really given me that one stand-up performance that has made me a fan of him. So, I obviously have to go with Bobby Roode. This is his NXT debut. You got to believe he's going to win. One loss, a loss Saturday night for Andrade Cien Almas isn't really going to hurt his career or his run in NXT because, like I said, guys, I know he was a renowned luchador in Mexico when he used to wrestle as a Sombra. But here in NXT, he's a good wrestler, but he hasn't really had that one performance where I'm just blown away. I'm like, wow, this guy's awesome. He did have a fun opener with Ty Dillinger at NXT TakeOver at the end, but other than that, I haven't really seen anything impressive from him. So, Bobby Roode, I'm just looking forward to seeing what he has to offer in NXT. So my prediction is Bobby Roode to win in his glorious NXT debut. Next match on the card is No Way Jose versus Austin Aries. This match has had some good build. I really think Austin Aries needs to go over in this match. He really needs to get the win here because when you look at his NXT TakeOver win-loss record, he's 1-1. And I think, with guys like Nakamura and Bobby Roode and Samoa Joe in NXT, I think Austin Aries was unfortunately lost in the shuffle. So I think he really needs this win more than No Way Jose does. No Way Jose, he's a very entertaining character. He's a good performer. And I see this match just like the Bobby Roode and Andrade Cien Almas match where, Almas is undefeated, but if he loses Saturday night, it's not really going to hurt his career. It's not going to really hurt him on NXT. I see it the same way for No Way Jose. He's very over with the NXT universe. Losing to Austin Aries will not hurt him. One loss will not hurt him or kill his momentum or anything. I just feel that Austin Aries really needs this win if he's going to be built as one of the new main event players on NXT because, of course, Joe's probably not going to be around much longer. He's most likely going to get called up to the main roster. And then you'll have, Nakamura and Roode, and you'll need someone like Aries. So, eventually I want to see Austin Aries win the NXT Championship. So I think he needs this win more than No Way Jose does. And with that said, I'm picking Austin Aries to emerge victorious in this match. It should be a good match. Like I said, it's had good build. The night that Austin Aries turned on No Way Jose during their little dance celebration was great. I think it should be a good match. So my prediction is Austin Aries to win because, like I said, I feel like he needs this win more than No Way Jose. So now, guys, we get to the 3 major championship matches on this card. First up, the NXT Tag Team Championships. The Revival defending against Johnny Gargano and Tomasso Ciampa. This is a very interesting match because, of course, well, one, I honestly didn't expect the Revival to go into this match as NXT Tag Team Champions. I honestly thought that American Alpha were going to retain at TakeOver the end, and then with Bobby Roode coming in, I thought we'd get a Dirty Heels reunion with him and Austin Aries, and then they would challenge American Alpha for the Tag Team Championships. If you remember my NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, back to Brooklyn fantasy booking video that I did with Daniel Gaiza, our fantasy match card predictions, I said I wanted to see American Alpha versus Beer Money for the NXT Tag Team Championships. But the Revival are the champions, and remember, Gargano and Ciampa beat them like on the go-home show to NXT TakeOver at the end, and that convinced me that the Revival weren't going to win, and they were going to most likely get called up to the main roster. Well, American Alpha ended up getting called up after they lost the championships, and I was thinking, well, if the Revival win the titles, I don't think they're going to hold on to the titles that long. I think they're holding on to them until they lose to somebody like, they drop them to somebody like Gargano and Ciampa. So, I mean, I could see the Revival retaining, but with the momentum Gargano and Ciampa have been building over the past few weeks, especially after they had that incredible match on the during the Cruiserweight, during the final first round of, well, during their final first round match of the Cruiserweight Classic. I mean, Gargano and Ciampa are just an awesome team, and I honestly, I could see this being their night. I could see this being that moment where they win the NXT Tag Team Championships. The Lex Man had this interesting, prediction where Revival would retain and then go on to face Authors of Pain. So I don't know if he's saying that he thinks Revival will turn face and go up against the Authors of Pain. I could see it more being like Gargano and Ciampa facing Authors of Pain, or I could see like the Revival retaining and going up against TM61, because TM61 have been building themselves up a little bit as possible contenders. But like, if I really think about it, like, I really want to see Gargano and Ciampa win the championships, because I think the Revival should go to SmackDown and really help what's that word? Really help establish the tag team division on SmackDown, especially with American Alpha on the main roster. So I could see the Revival retaining and then maybe dropping the belts to TM61. But then again, I could see Gargano and Ciampa winning and facing Authors of Pain, like facing TM61 and Authors of Pain before the end of the year. This one's a little hard to predict, but I want to say, based on their momentum going into TakeOver back to Brooklyn, the fact that they've beaten the Revival in the past, and they've really had the Revival's number. Like, they're the only team in recent, to have the Revival's number. I'm going to go with Johnny Wrestling and the Psycho Killer himself, Tomasso Ciampa, to win the NXT Tag Team Championships. The Revival retains. I have no problem with that. I love the Revival. There is a chance they could retain, but I feel like, based off of Gargano and Ciampa's momentum as of late, I got a feeling they're going to win the NXT Tag Team Championships. And then eventually they can drop the titles. They'll have like some kind of miscommunication, and there'll be like a rift between them. And then eventually you get a Johnny Gargano, Tomasso Ciampa feud, which I'd be so down for. I mean, their match, like I said, on the Cruiserweight Classic last couple weeks ago was incredible. It was just an emotional, grueling, hard-hitting match. And yeah, I could see them having a great rivalry. I could see them being great NXT Tag Team Champions. So my prediction is Johnny Gargano and Tomasso Ciampa to win the NXT Tag Team Championships. Next, we have Asuka defending her NXT Women's Championship against Bayley. This, to me, guys, is going to be the most compelling match on the NXT TakeOver Back to Brooklyn card, because of all the build and what's on the line for Bayley. I mean, her dream of becoming NXT Women's Champion, her dream of, being NXT Women's Champion, ultimately became a nightmare when Asuka stripped her of that championship at TakeOver Dallas, when she choked Bayley out of Asuka Lock. And since then, Bayley has just been determined to get back what is hers. She wants her NXT Women's Championship back, and she's had some hardships in terms of hitting a roadblock by the name of Nia Jax, who injured her knee. And, you know, this is going to be, like I said, the most compelling rematch on the card because Bayley is determined to get back her NXT Women's Championship because, you know, like I said, her dream of being the champion became a nightmare when Asuka dethroned her back in NXT TakeOver Dallas. Asuka has exhibited a little bit of a mean streak. Like, I don't know if they're going to turn her heel, but she has exhibited a little more of a heelish attitude. And I love Asuka. You know I love Asuka. I think she's one of the best women's wrestlers on NXT. This one, guys, is a little hard to predict because it can go either way. You know, all 3 championship matches on this card can go either way. Asuka and Bayley was one of those really hard ones to predict. It's a 50-50 match because there is a chance that Bayley could win back her NXT Women's Championship. I mean, think about it. 1 year ago in Brooklyn, in the Barclays Center, she annexed Sasha Banks in that incredible women's wrestling match to become the champion. A year later, she could possibly annex Asuka and win back her NXT Women's Championship. So, I mean, 2 TakeOver Brooklyn specials in a row. Bayley wins the NXT Championship. That would be awesome. This is an instance when 50-50 booking is completely fine because it's not like Bayley got the rematch like a week or 2 later and won the belt back. No, she's had to fight hard for like 4 months practically to get back in the spot. You know, she's had to overcome some hardships to get back in this spot, and now she has her chance to finally become NXT Women's Champion. You know, regain what was once hers, and it's not going to be an easy fight. You know, this is a match that I really wish had a special stipulation like Falls Count Anywhere, no DQ, 2 out of 3 falls like I predicted in the fantasy match card predictions video. But you know, that's my only gripe with this match, that it doesn't have a stipulation. And the main event, the NXT Championship match between Joe and Nakamura, I wish that match was no disqualification as well. That's a match that could have really benefited from stipulation. But getting back to the women's match, this one, like I said, guys, is hard to predict, you know, because it could go either way, especially this one, because Bayley's most likely going to get called up to the main roster soon. She'll probably be on the main roster before the end of the year. But then again, she might win the belt and hold on to it until maybe the TakeOver special in November, not November, in October or December, and then drop it to Asuka, and that could be like her swan song from NXT. I'm not sure, but I have this feeling that if Bayley wins, they'll turn Asuka heel. Like, Asuka will, you know, spinning heel kick Bayley's head off after Bayley's awarded the championship, something like that. So, well, I mean, the other way I could see it is Bayley could win the championship back, and then they could do one more match between Asuka and Bayley at the next NXT TakeOver special. It could probably be a 30-minute Iron Woman match, and in the end, Asuka dethrones Bayley once more and reclaims the championship. Or Asuka could retain, and you know, she could be the one person that Bayley just can't knock off. She could be that one person that Bayley just cannot beat when it's that big match. You know what I'm saying? So, with that said, guys, I think I will go with I think I might have to go with Asuka retaining the NXT Women's Championship. The more I think about it, like, they might have Asuka just be that one force that Bayley can't top. She could be just that one thorn in Bayley's side. Bayley just, I got a feeling Bayley's gonna bring a mean streak, and she's gonna need a mean streak to beat Asuka because Asuka is a very lethal force in that ring. And you know, I remember saying that like Asuka and Bayley could have that Undertaker and Batista-like feud from 2007 where they have a series of matches, and in the end, I mean, they're two of the most popular wrestlers on the NXT roster, and it would be a simple case of who's the better women's wrestler, who's truly the queen of the NXT women's division. So I could see Bayley winning, and I would have no problem with Bayley winning. But because I think it would make for a more compelling storyline and feud in case they have one more match before Bayley goes to the main roster, I'm going to go with Asuka to retain the NXT Women's Championship. I'm not going to say by hook or crook because I don't think Asuka would cheat, but I think Asuka is just going to have that like one little weapon in her arsenal that's just going to be too much for Bayley to handle. I don't know if it's going to be a kick to the head, if she's going to choke her out again. I could just see Asuka being that one person Bayley can't beat. You know, Bayley is a great wrestler. She's a great competitor, a true fighting champion. When it comes down to it, Asuka is probably that one person that has her number every time. So, with that said, my prediction for this match is Asuka to retain the NXT Women's Championship. If Bayley wins, that's awesome. She deserves it. And how awesome would it be if she returns to Brooklyn 1 year later, the same site where the previous year she won the NXT Women's Championship, and she wins it again. It's going to probably be a pro-Bayley crowd, but I just got a feeling that Asuka's gonna tame her this time. And don't be surprised if Asuka is treated like the heel in this match, or if she even acts like the heel. Like, I got a feeling it will be a pro-Bayley crowd inside the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. But with that said, I just got this feeling that Asuka is going to beat her. So my prediction is Asuka to retain the NXT Women's Championship. And finally, guys, we get to the main event, the NXT Championship match. NXT Championship match. Samoa Joe, the champion, defending against the challenger, Shinsuke Nakamura. It is a battle of strong style. It is Joe, the self-proclaimed emperor, versus Shinsuke Nakamura, the renowned king of strong style. This should be an awesome match, guys. I'm expecting this to be just a very grueling, hard-hitting match. Again, this is another tough one to predict. I mean, consensus prediction would say, or the consensus would say, that Nakamura is going to win the championship, because look at how freaking over he is with the crowd, how over he's been for the past 4 months since arriving in NXT. He's just been on a roll. He's beaten guys like Sami Zayn, Elias Sampson, Buddy, I think it was Buddy Murphy, Blake or Murphy, one of those guys, I can't remember. But he's also beaten Austin Aries. He's beaten Alex Riley. You know, he beat Finn Balor in an incredible match, you know, a few weeks back on NXT. Nakamura has so much momentum going for him. So you'd have to think, with so much momentum going in, that they're going to give Nakamura the championship. Joe, on the other hand, he's been NXT champion for about 2 to 3 months. And he's been a great NXT champion for a short period of time. You know, he's this monstrous champion who demands respect. He feels disrespected. I mean, look at the build for this match. When he found out Nakamura was NXT champion, he felt so disrespected because he, you know, Commissioner William Regal didn't even, you know, consult with him first. You know, he doesn't feel Nakamura's earned a shot at his championship. Joe is all about respect, and I love how Joe isn't a chicken shit heel monster, a chicken shit heel champion. He's a monster heel champion who will beat the hell out of anybody if they don't give him respect. And he does not like Nakamura, especially after last week when Nakamura was playing with his nose and everything and slapping him on the face while security was holding him back. So you know this is going to be a collision in Brooklyn. I'm so looking forward to this match. And this, again, is 50-50. I mean, if Joe chokes out Nakamura, like chokes him out and beats him, there's no shame in that, because, you know, Samoa Joe with that coquina clutch can pretty much put anybody to sleep, even the king of strong style. But then again, with Nakamura's momentum, you got to believe he's going to most likely win the championship. And, you know, Joe, I agree with the Lex Man. I would like to see Joe have go a little longer as NXT champion. He's only been champion for about 2 to 3 months, but he's been a great champion in that short period of time. But then again, you know, Joe's probably going to get called up to the main roster soon, And he should really go to SmackDown because SmackDown's going to need a lot of star power. And what better way to generate star power than by bringing in one of the best submission specialists of his time, one hell of a Samoan badass and Samoa Joe. It could go either way, guys. I could see Nakamura and Joe feuding for the next couple months before Joe goes to the main roster, unless Joe decides to stay on NXT for a few more months. Consensus prediction is Nakamura to retain the championship. So, but then again, it's like you want to see you want to see Samoa Joe have a standout NXT championship reign. I mean, we'll look at Sami Zayn, for instance. He won the title at TakeOver Our Evolution in December 2014, and then 2 months later at NXT TakeOver Rival, he lost to Kevin Owens. He never won it back, but Sami Zayn, was a proud NXT champion, and that didn't hurt his career at all. So, I mean, they're probably going to give Nakamura the belt, which I have no problem with because I want to see Nakamura win the NXT Championship. But like I said, he's had so much momentum. He's riding a cloud of momentum since debuting at NXT TakeOver Dallas. I'm expecting this, like I said, to be a grueling, hard-hitting match. I really want to see it. I really want this match to be like strong style. I just want to see them beat the hell out of each other. That's why I would have loved for this match to be no disqualification. They could have fought inside the Barclays Center. It just would have been an awesome freaking fight. But it's still going to be an awesome match either way. No disqualification stipulation or not. So prediction-wise, guys, I just got to go with Nakamura. I don't see why they wouldn't give Nakamura the championship. I mean, if Joe beats Nakamura, that's not going to hurt Nakamura because Nakamura is, I got to say, he's the #1 guy on NXT right now. He may not be the face of NXT, but he is quickly building that reputation as the next, icon of NXT. So my prediction for the main event, the NXT Championship match, I predict Shinsuke Nakamura, the King of Strong Style, will knock off Samoa Joe to become NXT champion. And like I said, if Joe wins, I won't have a problem with it. And that's what I love about NXT. They can, if one result goes, if the result of a match goes the way you don't expect it, that I don't expect it, I won't have a problem with it as long as it's, logical booking. And that's what NXT does. They do logical booking, So if Joe retains the championship, totally fine with that. I have no problem with him beating Nakamura. But I think with how unstoppable Nakamura seems and the momentum he's built ever since debuting 4 months ago, you got to believe he's going to win the championship. And I know Joe's he's been a hell of a monster for a while. He's been unstoppable for quite some time, especially since defeating Finn Balor for the championship. But I just got to go with Nakamura. He's got so much riding for him. I could see him being NXT champion for quite some time. I don't know if he'd necessarily break Balor's title reign record, but I could see Nakamura being champion for a long time, probably until maybe Royal Rumble or even WrestleMania 33. So with that said, guys, I predict Shinsuke Nakamura will dethrone Samoa Joe at NXT TakeOver Back to Brooklyn and become the new NXT champion. So, guys, those are my predictions for NXT TakeOver Back to Brooklyn. As always, leave your comments down below. Make sure to like this video and share it amongst your friends. Make sure to click that subscribe button on my channel. And to recap, my predictions for this Saturday night are Ember Moon, Bobby Roode, Austin Aries, Johnny Gargano, and Tomasso Ciampa to become the NXT Tag Team Champions, Asuka to retain her NXT Women's Championship, and Shinsuke Nakamura to become NXT champion. So those are my predictions, guys, for NXT TakeOver Back to Brooklyn. Let me know down below in the comment section what you think. Who do you predict will win what match? What match are you most looking forward to? Which match do you think will be match of the night? Because the 3 championship matches have the potential to be match of the night or match and even match of the year candidates. I mean, NXT Tag Team Championship match should be great. I'm really looking forward to it. Bayley and Asuka, I'm looking forward to the story they're going to tell. And Joe and Nakamura should just be a hell of a fight. Like I said, I wish Bayley and Asuka had a stipulation like 2 out of 3 falls or falls count anywhere. And I wish Joe and Nakamura was no disqualification or no holds barred. But I'm still looking forward to the matches. I'm pretty sure they're going to deliver. Let's see. Let me know also down below, guys. Do you think this year's card will top last year's card. Last year's card was an incredible card, an incredible event. Yes, I know I gave it an 8 out of 10, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad show. It was a great show from start to finish, especially with the 2 main event matches. You know, Bayley and Sasha in that women's classic, and Balor and Kevin Owens in the ladder match. So let me know, guys. Do you think TakeOver Brooklyn, 2016 TakeOver Back to Brooklyn, as I call it, will top last year's NXT TakeOver event? Should be another great show. Looking forward to seeing how live that Brooklyn crowd is going to be in Barclays Center. And with the card that we have potential. It has the potential to be another great NXT TakeOver Brooklyn event. So thanks, guys, for watching. You guys know the drill. See you all later. This is Robbie Kenobi signing off. Everybody have a good day and enjoy SummerSlam week and SummerSlam weekend. Peace out, guys.